Welcome back to the podcast.
You are listening to Launch Speed. I'm your bus driver, Brendan. I'm joined here by my navigator, Zach.
Do buses have navigators?
If you're going on long road trips, why don't you stick with us and enjoy
You're getting
the journey to the destination in this week's podcast, where we talk about lots of stuff.
Wow, dude. That was epic. Let's get it rolling. It's fine. I really liked it, actually. I liked it.
There's multiple shapes and sizes. Just decide that a real fat guy is just a bear and it's hitting an animal.
No, it's not going to hit a bear.
Well, yeah, I know that. But it will determine the
Launch speed?
Stop. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put my words together. You're rushing me.
Am I helping?
No, not at all. No one else can see my hands.
Welcome to Launch Speed. Let's just dive right in, man.
Let's go.
What are the exciting things that happened to you this week?
The exciting thing. So I had an interview on Thursday.
Nice.
It went swimmingly.
It was the carpentry apprentice job?
It was. So I had to go in and show them that I could be. The guy said coachable, but what he meant was I could follow instructions.
Right.
Coachable is a very different thing, I think. I view it as different. I deal with coachable and uncoachable people.
You can be, well, yeah, I don't know. Continue.
And so it was two parts. You had to be in the warehouse at one point and show them that you could work with some hand tools and follow instructions there.
What kind of hand tools?
So we used a tape measure and a pencil.
Ooh, hard, tough.
To draw so you had to draw a straight line on a 12-foot length of drywall.
Sounds terribly difficult.
You didn't have a straight edge, and the only thing you had was a tape measure and pencil, and you had to draw the straight line. So he showed us how to do it, and then, you had to do it. He gave you a length.
That's so easy.
It is. It's real easy. But you would think from what I'd seen and witnessed at that section
that anyone could do it? I mean,
I thought that anyone could do it. I was terribly wrong.
Wow. I'm impressed. I mean,
the best one was the guy said, all right, give me a line straight across at 10 inches. The guy goes up. He spends about 3 or 4 minutes trying to figure out how to hold the pencil the way he showed us. And the whole thing was you had to do it the way he showed you. And this guy didn't do any of that at any point.
Including holding the pencil the right way?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing was right.
All right.
Draws the line, and I mean, it looks more like a sine wave and less.
Nice.
And the guy goes, that's a good, decent first attempt, you didn't hold anything right, but the line's there, so that's something. And then he measures it, and he's like, but you started at 9 1/4 inches, and you've ended at 13 1/2.
Ouch. That's almost a 50%
error.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that guy's going to get the job.
You don't say.
Nope. Then the second part was even easier. You had to take spackle or mud or whatever you want to call it, and he put a dent in the drywall, and then you had to patch it with mud and do it in a manner he showed you how to do it. And he told you to hold it a specific way, the blade, and then the motion.
Right.
And people were taking like the whole pail of mud and just slathering it on the drywall.
That's how you do it.
And then trying to get it off. It was hilarious watching. God. There's this like mid 30s, maybe low 40s year old woman there. She's a project manager somewhere else, but she wants to get into carpentry, and that's why she's doing this. She did this process. She showed me up. She did everything like a boss and did it all in heels.
She has experience with this stuff?
Yes.
Why was she wearing heels?
I don't know, man.
That's all right.
But her and I felt like we're the cream of the crop, so I'm pretty confident in getting a position here. I find out on Monday. If the podcast next week sounds real somber, you know why.
I mean, draw a line, use mud, use a tape measure. Those are so easy.
Yeah. The second part was...
I can't believe somebody couldn't follow the instructions right after he showed you how to do it.
You would think it'd be easier, right?
Some real winners. I
Really?
mean, I guess this is how they weed out the idiots.
That's what else are they going to do? Then we had to do a team building. I don't know if it's team building, but it was more like a team exercise to see how we dealt with, working together. And me and this older lady, we paired together and we killed it. absolutely destroyed everyone. We had to make a 3D star, but I couldn't tell her what it was. I just had to give her instructions on how to make a star without saying what, like, it's a star or hinting at what it could be, you know.
Right.
So within like the first minute, she already knew what the shape was and the fact it had to be a 2 levels, so a 3D image. And we did that in 3 minutes, and the guys across from us had a pyramid.
Right.
And they never got it together.
Wow.
And the other guy had a house, and it looked like a house, you know, your classic little box with a little triangle on top.
Yeah.
But it was flat, and it was supposed to be standing, but they got close.
That's something.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's something. So find out on Monday if I got that job. If all goes well, I'll be putting my 2 weeks in on Monday afternoon.
That's exciting. Weekend's free again.
Yeah, so by the time people hear this podcast, I might be on my way out at my current job, which is an exciting thing for everyone.
Yeah. I'm tired of hearing you bitch about tennis.
I'm tired of bitching about tennis.
Good. Anything else?
No, nothing else exciting happened for me this week.
All right, so for me, this table.
Dude, this table is amazing. I'm really proud of what you've done with it.
Dude, thank you. I'm pretty psyched about it. It's made everything just flow so much better in the room. The feng shui is just really...
What did you just say?
Feng shui?
I hate you.
Yeah, no, but the table looks pretty good. It's like 90% done. I might go over and redo a couple things, but it's really helped this setup out. Also, yesterday, which was Friday, for those of you listening later on Monday, we bought a Tacoma, which...
I'm kind of upset it took me an hour to realize that was your car,
your
vehicle.
You just didn't realize how I had gotten there. You were just like, oh, he must have just flown in, or I don't know.
I just wasn't looking for your car.
Really. Right. I probably would have noticed, but
your parents have a fleet of vehicles at their house.
I know. Between the 4 people living there right now, they've got 6 cars, and whenever somebody shows up, that's 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, a lot of vehicles. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it.
What's your favorite thing about the truck?
Is how much Casey likes it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Best birthday present ever.
Our computer is just beams of smiles over there.
But enough about that. Dislikes for this week.
Dislikes.
Yeah.
I finally gave Apex Legends a real effort and shot.
All right. It was like 40 minutes.
It was an hour.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hated every second of it.
Really?
The game mechanics seemed off to me. The gameplay was camp fest. No, not real. Nothing happened the whole freaking time.
It would have been more fun if any of us were any good at it.
It's not going to be good. It's just a camp fest. Just who gets in the zone first and sits there and shoots at everyone, spray and pray as they come in.
I mean, to an extent, I guess.
No.
But I think that you're a little hard on it. I don't think you give it a good enough chance. But
I just won't. I told my friends.
I guess that's fine.
They asked me to play with them sometimes, and I told them it's just never going to happen. I gave it a shot. Didn't like it enough to ever get back on.
Okay.
And it was free, so I'm not losing anything by never playing again.
Yeah, except for that hour of your life. Looking ahead, you already said that.
But the implications of getting the job.
Yeah.
Those are the excitements that are, looking ahead.
Yeah.
Probably find a place near Annapolis or Largo area. If you're not in Maryland, it's just 20 minutes south of DC.
A little more. Annapolis is like 45.
That's off to the east.
Yeah.
I'm talking south.
Okay.
There's difference.
All right.
But,
continue.
So I'm just, and you guys, everyone's more likely to see me because I'm closer and I won't be working on the weekends.
Second thought, don't quit your job. Just stay working it. So we have to see less.
And I'll stop going to bed at 4 or 6 in the morning.
That would be awesome.
It would be. I'll get up around.
You'll actually have energy on Saturday afternoons.
I will. I won't be I got to bed at 3 o'clock last night. Woke up at 7.
Dude, you have an issue. So are you excited about the possibility of living on your own?
I am. If I do, I will definitely be having a maid.
Oh, wait, like on your own? Like you wouldn't even look for a roommate or anything?
Nope, I don't plan on looking for a
okay.
maid.
A maid, you say?
A maid.
Because you're just so messy?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can't be bothered to take the time to clean up after yourself?
Yeah, that's mostly it. It's not that I can't. It's just I won't.
Right. You can't be bothered to do it.
I won't be bothered to do it.
Okay. Are you going to cook any better for yourself?
That's what a maid's for. I'll have her come in, cook and clean, and then...
Once a week?
Yeah, she can just meal prep.
Did you get okay? Sounds like an expensive maid service. You know, it'd be better if you got a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Just a girlfriend.
Either one.
There's no boyfriend.
No judgment here. I mean, you know.
No.
How do you take your coffee?
I don't take it like that.
I mean, whatever, man. Whatever you want.
I could get a girlfriend, but that would involve going to be social, and I've given that up as well.
Oh, good. So you're just going to be a lonely hermit for the rest of your life.
Hermit's a good way to put it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Good thing. Yeah.
And I reached out for some advice on the YouTube channel last week, and I got some responses back. None of them were any good.
Really, right here, you say they were stellar.
Yeah, that was all sarcasm.
What ideas did you get?
The best one that I got was I could go to the bars, that's one thing I wanted to do. And then I could have business cards to promote the podcast. That's two things I want to do.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd have something to talk about, and I should record all of it, and there's my YouTube channel.
Oh, just you failing at talking to women?
Or males, apparently.
Or men.
Yeah.
You know.
Can't be sexist.
Bad dating advice by Zach.
How not to pick up women at a bar.
That'd be fun. I'd watch you fail.
It'd be so cringy, man.
Yeah, but I mean, people watch The Office, and how cringy is that?
Yeah.
Scott's Tots?
Ooh. Dude, Scott's Tots is a painful episode.
Interesting. You know BJ Novak?
Yes.
He's Ryan in The Office.
I do.
He was a writer. You know the very first episode that he directed by himself? Scott's Tots.
Dude, it was a good episode. It was well done, painful to watch.
If I skip an episode of Office, that'll be it. That'll definitely be it.
Yeah.
Then the seasonal ones, because I don't like watching Christmas episodes out of season. I would literally choke someone from behind while they're driving me.
The other one.
That was a reference to a previous topic in a previous podcast.
The other good idea was brought to me by a coworker. He said he would have no problem if I wanted to do not trick shots, but surviving shots. He would swing, take golf shots at me and also serve at me at full speed, and I could just stand there and take it, and that'd be entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
It's more like a Jackass style.
Yeah, except for no one would watch it. But I mean,
I'd watch it. I think people would watch someone getting hit a full golf ball and just trying to avoid it. That'd be tough. It'd be hurt.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of hurt.
It would be.
But that's all I've got looking forward. Is there anything you're looking forward to?
Just keeping Casey happy with the Tacoma. Just keeping her happy with that, She's going to be so much happier, so much more pleasant. Not that she isn't perfectly pleasant right now.
She's always pleasant. She's a gem and a dime.
The best. No, that's it. Let's see. Shout outs. Mike, our official podcast troll, we really appreciated the email you sent us this week. It was genuinely funny. Not to say the others weren't, but this one was pretty good. Should we give it to him? Should we say his full name this week?
So Mike Oxlonger hit us with an email, and it was a pure gem. And he also wanted us to shout out to NASA. And why are we giving NASA a shout out?
I believe it had something to do with ill-fitting clothing. Right. The spacewalk, the all-female spacewalk, has been canceled because they couldn't find enough spacesuits to fit the women. Yep, I think they needed 2 mediums, and they only had 1.
So they needed 3. They only had 2.
They needed 3?
Yes.
I thought it was going to be all female. I thought there was only going to be 2 people.
I think because...
Okay.
Because there's 3 on a spacewalk, right?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever. It's definitely been canned, but the constellation prize is that history is being made by the 13th and 14th woman being able to walk out in space.
Ooh.
Because everyone cares about the 13th and 14th person to do something.
Right. That's disappointing. You said that they didn't actually schedule it to be an event like an all-woman spacewalk. It just kind of happened that way.
That's how it worked. Was kind of like the lots were drawn and it was all females.
Right.
So NASA wasn't trying to do like a political stunt here.
It turned into a failed one, but yeah.
Yeah. So now they're once again more or less a laughingstock.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad.
But moving on from the shout-outs.
Do we have any other shout-outs?
Do we?
I don't know.
I don't have any.
Shout out to Casey. I love you. Continuing on.
Why are you talking about your brother's wife like that?
Come on, man. My wife. Continue.
See, they're so confusing. So I need to make a quick correction. Last week we were talking about sun bears, right?
We were?
And I said sun bears are found in South America. I am really, really wrong.
Yeah.
Spectacled bears are the ones that live in South America, and they're the only bear that lives in South America.
Really?
Yes.
And so that's the bear they saw on that Grand Tour special.
It was.
Could we, computer, please bring up some pictures of sun bears? Because I just love looking at pictures of sun bears because they are the silliest of the arm-tearing off mammals.
Well, dude, I think sun bears are hideous looking.
Really?
They're not even cute.
I mean, they're just so weird that it's great.
They look like
just
overgrown.
have some. Yeah, look at that.
They look like overgrown anteaters, man.
I mean, just the tongue. That one right there. That one looks like a guy in a bear suit.
It is a guy in a bear suit.
Totally.
Or a dog with weird legs.
Yeah. It's a funny. It almost looks like a primate, honestly. But all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Moving on.
So our bear bits of the week. I found this and I thought it was hilarious. So I was trying to find stuff about grizzly bears because we hadn't really had a fact about them yet. And I stumbled upon, is it Kodiak? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
So Kodiak Island has its own kind of bear, and they're the largest specimen of bears.
This is in or near Alaska?
Yes, it's near Alaska, and they're only found here. And in the 1930s, they were having trouble eating or getting their cattle eaten by these bears. So they were trying to figure out ways to do it. What is the first
ways to get their cattle eaten by bears?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ways to not get their cattle eaten by bears. What is the first idea? Like, what's one of your ideas if you had to keep bears from getting your cattle?
Bigger fence.
So that was proposed. They wanted to split the entire island. They apparently Trump took something out of their book and said, let's just split the island. We'll have a Kodiak free zone and a Kodiak zone of bears and no bears.
Okay.
And then
that would be tough. How do you convince the bears to go on the other side of the fence
and not try to get to the other one?
Right.
What if they have the right papers?
That'd be a big fence.
You can't just stop them from coming over. That was the biologist standpoint. The ranchers had a slightly more aggressive and fantastical way. I don't know.
Did they want to shoot the bears?
They did want to shoot them, but that wasn't enough. They had to shoot them from airplanes.
Why from airplanes?
I don't know. I mean, do you want to get close to one of these things?
A car would be fine.
They didn't have cars in the 30s, man. I guess they did, but I would...
Not anything capable of driving on Kodiak.
Or capable of getting away from bear if it got a hold of it.
Right.
Just be a little tin can full of food for it.
Yeah.
So they were flying around on airplanes for about 30 years, shooting bears from them.
Wow.
And then in the 1960s, it all stopped.
They probably didn't even harvest those bears either.
No, of course. They're just shooting them and dropping them.
Oh, that sucks. That is a fluffy bear.
Yeah, they are massive.
Is that the mountain next to an oversized bear? That one right above it right there? That is...
I don't think that's the mountain.
No,
I think it's just a big old bodybuilder.
I also think that it might be a little photoshopped. Dang, that thing is gigantic. Look at those teeth.
So they're 5 feet standing on all 4 legs.
Holy cow, that is pretty big. Yeah, that's pretty big.
So that's our bear bits of the week.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. Okay, news. On to the news.
Let's go on to the news.
So I had some notes from last week in previous episodes. Last week we talked about Google Stadia, the brand new Google service where they're going to be streaming video games. They're going to be hosting all of the hardware, and you pay a certain amount of money to connect to that hardware, and they pay a certain amount of money to get the rights to play a game that's running on their server. So you just have to have the internet connection. I said 25 megabits per second. I was basing that off of Netflix's recommendation for a 4K connection. Turns out what Google Stadia says for 4K, you need 30 megabits per second. So
that's a really high internet speed for the average person.
So yeah, so like my internet speed is it's pretty good. I think it's like 80 or 90 megabits per second, but not consistently. You gotta have consistently like 30 megabits per second. Otherwise, you're gonna experience incredible lag, and that's very limiting.
Yeah, so, our internet's a little bit faster than that, and by a little bit, I mean a whole lot faster than that.
Yeah, you guys have gig internet, don't you?
Yeah, we have 1 gig internet.
Yeah.
I consistently run over 500.
That's darn good.
Yeah. So I could do Google Stadia, and my neighbor could probably do Google Stadia, and the neighbor below me could also probably do
Stealing your Wi-Fi?
Why not?
Yeah.
It's free.
Sort of. Also, we talked a bunch of episodes ago about...
How many... was that one of our first episodes? We talked about the Dark Souls?
I think that was when we started doing current events.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly which episode, but a streamer whose name is Happy Hobbs, he had a goal to complete the Soulsborne video games, which are Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 through 3, and Bloodborne without getting hit at all. We talked about the last time we talked about it, he failed on a tutorial boss, which is terribly sad after beating 3 or 4 of the games in a row. This past week, he successfully did it. He played through 5 entire games without getting hit a single time.
So there's a lot of people who have no idea what that means. That's impressive.
In a game, yeah, that's hard to not get hit at all, like in a fight, hard to even survive in a fight. Yeah, that's very impressive.
So are there difficulties, or is it just
one difficulty?
It's just impossible.
Really hard. Yeah. Really hard.
I wish I had that time. And
yeah.
Patience.
I watched just the video of him beating the final game, and he was very emotional.
Was he?
Yeah. Because he spent the last 8 months or so, 9 months at least, trying to do this every day, pretty much torturing himself.
So does he just run away from fights all the time?
No, he doesn't wear anything that slows him down, because it's one of those games, and you can just dodge really well. And if you have good enough game knowledge, it's technically possible to do them all.
All right, I'll give it to you, man. Congratulations to Happy Hobbs for doing that.
That is pretty impressive. Okay, that's it for recap and notes from last week and previous episodes. So do you want to start this one? I mean, we talked about daylight savings time. What do you think about ending it?
I'd be happy with ending it. I never notice the change of time. Like, I never wake up one day and be like, oh my God, like I lost an hour. It just seems like every time it happens, I stay up just to that point where it affects me.
Nice.
So if it jumps back, I'll be up at 2, and then it's 1 o'clock. It's all of a sudden again.
That's always so much better than the alternative.
So when you're staying, it's like 1:59, and then you look at your phone, it's 3:02.
That sucks. It turns out
that happened to us last 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it seems like every time there's a time change, we end up staying up until what ends up being 3 or 4 o'clock.
It's not. We need to stop that.
Yeah, it's
but
not a good idea.
The EU said enough of this. We're done. We're done hopping around, and they have proposed to end daylight savings time.
Didn't they actually vote it through?
They voted. They approved putting a proposal together.
Oh, that's it. That's as far as it got.
That's as far as they got.
Wow.
It's expected to go into effect around 2020, 2021, to either stay in wintertime or summertime. I forget. They have specific names, but I don't care to learn them. But they said the states of the EU can pick which one they want to be in.
That would be very annoying.
I assume that there's some people who live in different countries and work in because in the European oh my gosh, I'm struggling here. In Europe, some people travel from country to country for work, right?
Probably, yeah.
It's like us driving state to state.
Right.
How unfortunate it would be to wake up at 5:30 or at 6 in the morning to get to work at 5:30.
That would be better than having to wake up at 5:30 to get to work at 7.
Ooh, and you're only driving 20 minutes?
Yeah. That would suck. I mean, you would eventually adjust no matter what the thing is, but
would you ever set your watch? Which way would you set your watch to?
Probably where you live. Ooh,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you got to have 2 watches, and you put one on when you get in the car and you're going to work, and then when you leave work, you put the other one. I don't know. At least your phone will automatically keep up and change to the right time wherever you are.
That's
good
nice.
of them. Yeah, that's good of them.
Would you want which way would you want it to be?
I think summertime, because and this might just be talking out my ass here, but I think
usually
that
do that, so no difference.
That's pretty much what this podcast is. I think that your circadian rhythm depends a lot on the day, like the light and the dark cycle. And since I'm consistently getting up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, it seems like I feel better when it's light outside earlier. I feel less tired. Because when I get up and it's dark for another 3 hours, it just kind of sucks. So it being in the summertime means that it's lighter in the morning, and I think that's better for at least my sleep schedule.
But think of how dark it will get, how quickly. It'd be dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Really that dark?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's why I could never live in Alaska.
Where it's dark for some parts of the
Like
year.
4 months of the year, or not complete darkness, but
Sorry about that. Off mic sneeze.
yeah, that would suck. Also, speaking of the EU, you know about budget airlines?
I do know about budget airlines. Spirit is probably the best one, and they're still not very budget.
Have you heard of WOW Air?
I have never heard of WOW Air.
So they're based out of Iceland.
They were based out of Iceland.
So they're offering $99 flights from Reykjavik in Iceland to London. And that's incredibly cheap. And it was something like $99 from like JFK to Reykjavik. This past week, they just shut down. And anyone who had a flight booked, screwed. So some of the people who were in Iceland and had to get home, their flights were just canceled. They were never going to be put up again.
I would say I'm surprised that this fell through, but I'm just not. Because you know why airlines are so expensive? Because it's freaking expensive to fly planes.
Right.
Fuel alone is extremely high.
Yeah, it's at least $1 a gallon.
I would say at least $1. Maybe at 99 cents guaranteed.
Yeah.
But so things like this, though, like what Spirit does to you is they offer a stupid cheap flight and then they hit you with the baggage.
Yeah.
$25 for a carry-on, $50 for check. So WOW was even worse.
Yeah.
I read up on them. They were charging you for, if you wanted extra leg room, it was an exorbitant amount.
Ooh.
Early check-in time, pick your own seat, money. It cost you money.
Yep.
And the thing was, people weren't flying it because it was a shitty airline.
Oh.
And they only had 11 airplanes. So they had very, very limited flights.
Huh. You now know much more than I do. Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. But, I mean, if it was like a decent airline that still offered the budget stuff, like charging for a carry-on, that's ridiculous. But if you could still get like a $99 flight without any of the inconveniences, like that would be good for a lot of people. But, I mean, the fact that on top of that, they were just a bad airline, that just, I guess, is what drove them into the ground. And they just left some people stranded, which sucks.
Yeah, so Iceland, they were going under a couple months ago, and the Iceland government said, we're not going to bail you when you guys fail. Figure it out.
Ooh.
And they're like, oh, we're not going to fail. We're going to figure this out. Then they failed.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised.
But this is the first Iceland airline, or the first Icelandic airline to crash, but it is not crash, to shut down. But it is not the first European airline to do it. There is one in Belgium, one in Germany, and one in England.
Same kind of thing.
Same
Budget
concept.
airlines.
Yeah, but they don't work.
Huh.
So airlines are already so subsidized. They are about as cheap as they can possibly be because they have such thin profits. And then these companies think they can get away with, cutting it down. They're not. They lost every quarter they were operational. They lost money.
Nice. I guess they were just hoping for a sudden surge in popularity. And
yeah, but then they only had 11 airplanes, so they kind of limited themselves there.
Yeah. If you have low overhead, that shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, well, they didn't have that either.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. I mean, it seems like United and American Airlines, in a PR stunt, offered to help the stranded passengers that were stranded in mostly Iceland.
Flights for $2,000 back.
Ooh.
I'm kidding. I don't know, but if I was American Airlines, I would. They have to get home, so I'd charge them whatever the hell I wanted.
So they were the stranded people were actually advised to get something called rescue flights, which is basically just the airline trying to do you solid. I mean, if you're stuck in a place, they'll just stick you on whatever flight they can, and
whatever's
wherever.
open.
Yeah. So
I'm glad they're helping them out.
It probably still costs money, but it's cheaper. So.
All right, and last non-tech news. Apparently, we can kill Bear Grylls.
Yes. Good transition there. Did you do the Bandersnatch thing on Netflix?
No, dude. No, I didn't.
You didn't?
It didn't even seem remotely interesting to me.
I found it interesting. So it was a choose your own adventure thing.
Well, you're easily entertained.
Yeah.
With a small pea-sized brain you got.
Yeah. Well, life is more fun that way.
I bet it is.
So it was a choose your own adventure based on a choose your own book. Choose your own adventure book. So it was on Netflix, and you had the option to make these choices with the remote. But they're doing one with Bear Grylls. It's called You versus Wild. So I don't know the specifics, but I'm assuming it's gonna be like, can I eat this or can I not eat this? Like, should I go across the river? Should I find another way? And whatever options you choose could end up getting Bear Grylls killed.
So how do they film that if
they film every possible? It's the same way they did it in Bandersnatch. They film every possible series of events, and they have a very, very complicated line or storyline or whatever you want to call it, decision map, and it seems pretty interesting.
I think I could get behind that.
I could definitely get behind it. Yeah, and I mean, yeah. So what he actually says in the commercial is, if you make the wrong choice, it might not go so well for me. So maybe he doesn't die, but I'm hoping that, like, just for funsies, they just show him dying in a stupid way, like.
Or what that happened was they were filming multiple scenarios,
and he actually died in one of them.
No, he actually got hurt in one of them.
Ooh, like that would suck.
It wasn't his. It was just something that randomly happened.
Yeah.
And so what they've done is they're like, well, if you choose to do this possibility, we're gonna show this film of him snapping his leg in half.
Ouch! Ouch! He looks really old and like decrepit in that picture. Like he looks emaciated a little bit.
I mean, the man's. He probably hasn't drank his own pee in a little bit, so he's probably feeling a little jonesy.
Okay. Moving on to general tech news. Do you still eat McDonald's
No
5 days a week?
I haven't had McDonald's in 2 months now.
Look at you go, man.
Pretty much every time I say something on the podcast that made me sound really unhealthy, I stop doing it.
Okay. You still eating a bunch of pot pies?
I'm not.
Oh, that's right. You started actually cooking for yourself. That's right. You talked about that.
I started buying my own food. I'm making Ashley cook for me, though.
Well, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. So it's not like she's just cooking for me. Like, I buy enough food for everyone in the apartment. So we just have dinner together now.
Okay. That works.
Because usually what happened was I would just sit in my room while they ate, and then at 11:30 at night, I'd make 2 or 3 or 4 pot pies.
God, you're just a troll is what you are. Just sitting in a cave.
I just didn't have a bridge to live under.
Yeah.
But McDonald's they might rope me back in. They have acquired their own AI.
McDonald's has an AI.
They have an AI.
How much did it cost?
They bought it for $300 million.
And what is this AI supposed to do? I mean, I can't possibly imagine what they're trying to do with it.
So it's going to run their digital menus. I don't know what that exactly entails. But apparently the subliminal messages that when you're watching movies and it just flashes words real fast and you can't read them, that wasn't working out for them. So they are going with an AI. And I think it's just because online ordering has become so popular with McDonald's.
Huh.
Because you can skip the line now, which is awesome. Because if anyone has ever been to a McDonald's, the worst part of it is the line.
Well, and the food, but yeah.
No. McDonald's fries are the best fries out there.
Ooh, I wouldn't say that. They're good, though.
Whose fries you put above them?
Actual restaurants.
I think there's only 2 fries I can put above McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they?
Arby's and Chick-fil-A.
See, the Chick-fil-A fries themselves aren't even, like, that good. I mean, they're, like, pretty good.
If you guys unsubscribe to this podcast, I totally understand why.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I really like them, but there's nothing spectacular about them.
What do you mean? They're waffle. They're the perfect shape for scooping delicious sauce into your mouth.
That's the best part about them.
Then how does that makes a good fry?
Chick-fil-A fries
are shovels.
Are just a utensil to shovel Chick-fil-A sauce into my mouth. Let's be real here.
Yeah. But where else can you get them? You can't.
They're kind of a novelty. But so these when you say digital menus, like the new McDonald's, they have that big old touch screen that you can order on when you walk into a restaurant,
and also the interface that has on your app that you have for McDonald's.
Okay, so those 2 things, and it's gonna do what? Just like try and promote the things that it thinks you're gonna like.
That either that, it's probably gonna collect data on you at all times.
Of course. Well, they probably already are, but
yeah. They just needed an AI to do it because the guy in the office was getting a little tired listening to all your conversations.
Wow. This sounds incredibly expensive. Did you tell me the price?
I said 300 million. You asked me how much did it cost him, and I told you 300 million.
I
If you
just
would
don't
open-
listen.
I know you don't listen because you're incapable of comprehending
Moving on.
simple things.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Have you ever had computer problems like your computer's like running slow and
Yeah, I had a 3-legged computer for about 4 months.
Okay. Did it ever cross your mind that it was maybe a virus?
No, because I knew that it was the hardware that you had sold me that was shit.
What if it was something else? What if it was a different computer? Would you maybe assume that it was a virus?
If I couldn't troubleshoot it, then yeah.
Okay. So Office Depot thought that people would kind of go down that path. They would think that their computer's running slow, so it's a virus. So they had these scans that you could bring your computer, and they would do the scan on your computer, and it would also ask you a survey. And it was like, is your computer running slow? Like, are things not always working correctly? And if you answered yes to those questions,
You had a virus.
you had a virus. And then you had to pay like $500, I think, to... It was actually probably less than that. If we could pull the article up, computer. If you could pay a certain amount of money, and they would get rid of the virus. They've been... they were sued. This happened as recently as 2016, I believe. They were sued for $35 million because they were taking advantage of people and lying to them about virus and malware infections.
I mean, but it's so easy to take advantage of people with computers.
But it's just so wrong.
I told people I built my own computer, and they looked at me like I was Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah, people don't understand how easy it is. It's literally just push and snap.
Yep.
I
did a lot of reading that I probably didn't need to do, but I wanted
absolutely
to.
not.
But
And you still broke something.
yes.
You still broke something. All right. Yeah. No, I just thought like you would think that you could trust like a big name brand like Office Depot not to be just completely
Scussballs.
Yeah, and like I understand like at the corporate level, like there's some sleaziness going on there, but to the individual customers, you wouldn't think that they're gonna be doing something like that and just totally flat out lying to you. And I mean that's just rude.
The fact that they got away with it for so long.
Yeah, could you scroll down a little bit? Because I think they were doing it for 7 years. 7 years before anyone knew or brought it up.
I just wanted because so was it a malware that you installed on your computer and then it told you to take it in, or is it something you had to bring you took it to the store?
Just whenever you brought it there, it said you had a virus. To be fair, in their defense, they were working with a third party, and the third party was the virus scanner thing. But they were still enabling this corruption and taking advantage of mostly older people who can't troubleshoot a computer as well, and who are also very paranoid and skeptical about viruses.
Yeah, you never know what you get from Google.
Right.
You could catch the clap from Google in their mind.
So that's it for that.
Taking advantage of stupid people.
Yeah. Good one.
In the last 3 years, there was an uptick in car thefts.
I find that very surprising.
So it's still overall a decrease since whenever they started the survey to now. The car thefts have dropped significantly, but in the last 3 years, there's been a spike relatively. There were 69,000 cases in the last 3 years of convenience thefts.
This is in the U.S.?
This is in the U.S.
What is a convenience theft?
It is where you leave your keys in the car, either running or just sitting there, and someone took your car.
Wow.
69,000 people. I don't know I bet it was more than the same person had it happen twice, because that's just an idiot move.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, some people don't learn from their mistakes, so yeah, it's very possible.
But it was a 58,000 increase of cars stolen. But that's the increase was 58,000 overall.
Okay.
But if you took out the 69,000 cases of people just getting their cars stolen because they're dumb, it's actually a decrease. There's only an increase because people are simpletons.
So is this a sign that people are getting stupider or more careless?
I think it's just the fact that A lot of cars don't need keys to start, so you don't think about it the same way.
Okay.
You have the fob, you just get in, so you just leave the fob in there anyway,
Right.
Because it's convenient.
Sometimes I don't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good about that.
They also mentioned it was kind of like you stop to like grab a coffee and someone just hops in your car and takes it. I've done that before where
You've hopped in someone's car and taken it?
well, yeah, I took a friend's one time, but it wasn't really thieving. It was just a joke. But no, I'll leave my car running while I run in to get something.
Okay.
But I also live in I wouldn't do it in Silver Spring, but when I lived here, I'd do things like that.
Yeah.
I would not leave my car running in Silver Spring.
I guess I've probably done that. Except for I would take my keys with me. So that means they could steal the car since I have a keyless start. So that means they could steal the car and they could drive it to wherever, but then they couldn't start it again. So, it's half the battle.
Well, all they need is drive it on a lorry.
Yeah.
A semi-truck.
If you're in America, like most of us are. That's good. That's good. That's good. Little story there.
It was.
I almost 70,000 cases of people just leaving the keys in their car and people just taking them. That's not so. That's awesome.
It's what we're becoming.
Stupid is as stupid does.
We'll play stupid games.
Win stupid prizes.
There we go.
Alrighty. I'll let you take this next one because I hate you.
Okay. All right. So, speaking of more stupid people.
Yep.
People think Apex is better than Fortnite.
That's just an opinion.
It is an opinion. I am on the side of, obviously, since I spend most of my life playing Fortnite now, and I have no other life, I think Fortnite's the bee's knees.
You're welcome to that opinion.
I know, and I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
But Fortnite has apparently released that they have seen no dip in their player count since Apex has been released. They didn't even see it in their release. They didn't see it.
I am very skeptical about how they pick these numbers because of something else that I saw recently, which I should have asked our computer to pull up. So Epic Games, they started their own game store, the Epic Game Store, where they sell games. And they claimed that their Epic Game Store had made $300 million on third-party games. So on other people hosting their game on the platform. That's what they claimed. And a couple weeks later, someone brought up the stats and was like, no, that's not true.
Did they address it?
They addressed it and they said, oops, we made a mistake. What probably was happening is they were just flat out lying, which is, I believe, fraud. That is misleading shareholders.
That's what I was thinking, that it was misleading shareholders by saying there's so many players on this game. Well, it's not. It's players that have played the game. Their concurrent number, it seems more accurate.
Yeah, but even that, I'm a little skeptical of. But so, I mean, them saying that there's absolutely no effect from Apex Legends, that cannot be true.
Because a lot of the mainstream Twitch players who make Fortnite so popular were playing Apex that day.
Right. So, I mean, they're just probably cherry picking the numbers as justification that makes them look good. Like anyone who played, it was released in February, I think. So like they're just probably picking the number of players in February and being like, oh, it's the same. But like Apex was released midway through February, so
yeah,
everyone who was playing Fortnite played in the beginning of So I mean, it's sketch. I wouldn't necessarily believe it. It'd be interesting if it was true.
They did. So they weren't going to give Apex credit, but they did.
Of course not.
They did give FIFA credit during FIFA event times. That's the only time they say they see a dip in their player count.
FIFA event times, is that like Team of the Week or something?
The World Cup.
Okay.
When when bigger events are going on in FIFA, promotions and whatnot, that causes a dip in their playing, and that's just because FIFA is probably the most popular title in the world.
That's unfortunate because it's such a shit game.
They trashed their title 3 years ago, in my opinion. Absolutely trashed it.
The first one I played, which I believe was FIFA 16, I enjoyed. 17
rage-inducing
kind of sucked, and 18 sucked more.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
did I get 19?
I think that you You were going to. I know you played it because they how much time you spent on FIFA 18.
They gave me they wanted me to be a primary feedback.
Yeah.
I had to I tested the alpha and then the beta.
Nice. Sucked, I'm sure.
I hated it. Hated every second of it.
The worst part about FIFA is just that you're never going to find the fairish mechanics that you find in an actual game of soccer. In FIFA, a game which is based on the players on the field, so each of them have their own statistics. So it's really just it's a crapshoot.
It's a money game.
That was number one. Number two is that it's just so saturated with microtransactions. It is literally pay to win. And the packs that you open, the chances of you actually getting a good player in them is just so low, just marginal percentage. And it's a cash grab, and they've released the same exact game every year, just updated stats or like better graphics or whatever.
Mostly better graphics. They have some newer moves.
Yay!
But there's always a mechanic that can be abused so well.
Yeah, there's just that one like glaring issue. Like it was finesse shots, I think, in the last one.
Finesse was super overpowered. The year before that, it was across the ground shots.
Yeah. And then I think maybe the year before that it was long shots, just from outside the box, just cornered it.
Yeah,
like it nutso. And yeah, let's just trash on FIFA some more. But yeah. So you wrote down here that you think Apex is the trashiest of the battle royales.
I do. I think Apex is the worst battle royale that has been out.
What can you? Okay, just the worst, not trashiest. I mean, trashy just being bad in this case.
Yes.
Okay. Have you played any of the other ones?
I played PUBG and I've played Fortnite.
And you think Apex is more trash than PUBG?
Yes.
But you know how like laggy, glitchy, not smooth PUBG is, right?
Yeah, but PUBG was the first to do it.
So
it's okay that they had a bunch of problems with their game.
Oh, you're just making excuses.
I'm
But
not
they
making-
haven't fixed them yet. It's still like that.
Well, they don't need to. They're dying.
Okay.
They're losing popularity.
Well, I think that PUBG is the best for if you want something kind of realistic-ish. I mean, the gunplay is really weird, but it's kind of good-ish, I guess.
Yeah. But Apex, I don't know. It seemed like such a glaring rip from PUBG, and then Blackout as well.
Okay.
They just took the best. They took the graphics of Blackout and they took the gameplay of PUBG and they tossed them together and said, "This is our game," and it's just not fun to play.
So you're saying they took the best parts of other games and put it in their game, and
Yes.
somehow it's worse?
Yes.
That's interesting. I'd like to see if you could come up with any other example of that happening.
Mostly because it's a spray and pray game. I don't.
So, but I mean, you could say that about any game that doesn't have the building.
The building mechanics of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Something that they really got right.
Sort of. I mean, it's gotten to the building mechanics of Fortnite have gotten to the point where it's just annoying.
It's Minecraft with guns.
Well, Minecraft has guns.
Does it?
If you count bow and arrow.
Oh, I don't count bow and arrow.
Oh, okay.
Because that's only assault if you shoot somebody with it.
Yeah. Apparently, you can shoot at somebody, and as long as it doesn't kill them, it's not attempted murder.
Yeah. Because if you succeed, it's just murder.
All right. I'm done
with talking about
this. There's something else in here that kind of doesn't exactly fit under the video game category, but we're going to talk about it anyways. And this is one of the biggest issues that I think I've seen in legislation in recent months. So, the EU has tried to or voted to legalize something called Article 13, which if you want to pull it up, I'm going to look it up, whatever. What it does is it makes YouTube, Google, Twitch, etc., they are the ones that will be responsible for the copyright monitoring and infringement. So now, if I were to put up, and this is just for the EU, if I were to put up a video on YouTube and I was infringing somebody's copyright, I could be sued. But what this article is making the case is that if I put up something that's copyrighted on YouTube,
and YouTube doesn't catch it,
YouTube is sued. So that's very dangerous there. And
so YouTube's just going to ban content from being uploaded.
That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to have these filters, and if it doesn't pass these stringent filters, then you're not going to be able to upload anything.
So small YouTubes are never going to make it again.
And even big ones. I mean, the problem is you're gonna have to prove that you have the rights to do it. And so something like Twitch streaming, like video games, in a lot of video games, you're not technically allowed to do it. Nobody really calls you on it because it's actually promoting their game. It's helping their IP, but it's in a lot of copyright agreements, it's not really allowed.
Oh, you're right. You're not supposed to play in front of an audience.
So,
and a lot of Twitch streamers have music running in the background,
which is definitely not owned by them, or they don't have the rights to use.
When you try to rewatch the replays, Twitch will copyright some parts.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, this law just makes YouTube and Twitch just almost dead. There's going to be almost no content. What's going to end up happening is everyone
is this the one that everyone's like all the memes are about, because memes are going to be illegal in the EU because of Article 13?
That's something different, and I forget what that is, but I think that's more specifically UK. UK is like banned memes or something fishy like that. If you could do a little bit of research on that, computer, please and thank you. This is slightly different. But yeah, I mean it puts the blame, I guess, on the big companies, but that's just getting pushed down to the small guy, and that's gonna suck. I mean, have you ever read copyright laws?
Yeah, I always read them and then click I agree at the end.
There's a terms of service act.
Oh,
this is slightly different. You know that in iTunes there's a statement in the terms of service that says you can't use this software for nuclear weapons.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you include that?
Because nobody reads them.
Oh, they just wanted to prove it?
No, I mean it's just in there though. Oh yeah, okay. I guess it is the same thing. Yeah, yep. I apologize. Yeah, so Article 13 does ban memes, I guess, to a certain extent. I mean, it may be a little bit of a drawing on something, but I mean, if somebody copyrights a meme format and you try and make your own meme and you're using their copyrighted format, then it just bashes creativity. Yeah, is what this does.
But if outside of this, where would you like to visit in Europe? First spot.
I mean, I've been a lot of places in Europe.
That's super helpful, that answer.
I like Germany. I like Germany because it's clean, it's efficient, everyone's polite. They're a little sensitive about some things.
I wonder what. I wonder what they're sensitive about.
Showers. And it's a nice place. And everything, something like 60 years ago, 70 years ago, for some reason a lot of stuff like just disappeared. So they rebuilt everything, so everything's nice and new and clean, and it's good. It's a nice place to be. Plus, if you've ever been on the metro,
I've been on the metro. I'm trying to keep together here.
That is like riding in a 1920s automobile, and the trains in Germany are like riding in a 2000 automobile. Like the difference is
wow, what a description. So it's like
their trains are good,
80-year-old difference.
Yeah, I mean it's a huge difference. It's like our trains have barely evolved, and theirs are super smooth.
Riding in the metro always reminded me of like riding in a tube sock.
Isn't it great? Like you're just riding through, you're clunking along, like you can't stand up straight, and you're getting thrown left and right, and the lights are flickering, and there's a homeless guy peeing on the seat.
You know what I hate the most about the metro? People bringing their damn bikes on it.
Oh my God, you and the bikes, man.
Dude, I missed it. Something that made me angry. Something that upset me this week.
All right, and that's it. Thanks for watching.
We got to cut back to it. It's 2:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Nobody should be out of work.
What? So nobody's like on the metro for the most part.
No, I'm sorry. This has something to do with just cyclists in general, and not people on the metro.
Uh-huh.
This guy is riding his bike at 2:00 in the afternoon in the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road?
In the middle.
Okay.
I could not pass him, even though we were on a straightaway. I mean, I did pass him because I don't care. But
that's probably illegal.
It was a double yellow, and I definitely passed him. Because who rides their bike at 2:00 in the afternoon on a damn work day? You should be in the office, not be on your bike.
Maybe he's uber rich.
Then get a freaking moped or something.
What? Why? How is that even remotely similar?
Or ride it off-road. Take your Prius, drive to another location, get your bike out, dilly-dally around a dirt path, get back to your Prius, get back in the Prius, drive along the road with the Prius, get out, take your bike, throw it in the trash, and be done.
Wow, I feel some very directed points there. I mean, I just do not understand your level of hatred towards cyclists. I mean, there was a study recently that showed that 50% of people who don't ride their bike think that people who ride their bike on the road are less than human.
Really?
Are you in that category?
No.
Okay.
I think they're humans. I just think they're dumb ones.
I mean, I just can't have this conversation with you. All right, so let's back it up. Let's back it up to this article. Article 13.
Okay. We're back here.
Yep. It's bad. All right. That's it. All right. I think that about wraps it up. You got any closing remarks or anything you want to say?
No, I got none.
Okay. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and please consider leaving us a review on your podcast app or on our Facebook page.
We eventually will have a Twitter up and running.
It's up. We just have one tweet, which just says we're on Twitter.
And do we follow anybody?
Yeah, we follow a couple people.
How many?
Like 15.
Nice. I think we should run a launch speed Snapchat as well.
I'm going to put you in charge of that.
All right, good.
You can follow us on Instagram at LaunchSpeed and take a second to like and share our Facebook page. We're also on YouTube. We have audio of our older episodes and video of our newer ones. Last week we had some technical difficulties. This week, I hope that it works out and this episode will end up on YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like. We'd really appreciate it. If you have any tips, suggestions, feedback, things you would like us to hear discussed on the podcast, or 30-minute butt routines for Zach, please don't hesitate to send us an email at launchspeedpodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through social media. We also have
30-minute what?
30-minute butt routines, man. Gotta get them glutes in check for summer.
These cheeks are primo. These things could break a pole.
Moving on. What?
Go on.
We now have Teespring. If you want to support us and get some awesome merch, head on over to our Teespring because
You
everyone
are
likes
dude,
bear gear.
That is a dope tank.
I like it a lot. Unfortunately, you viewers cannot get the founder thing that's on the back because you're not a founder. But
you can get the front of it, which is awesome.
yeah, we're also on Patreon in case you forgot or didn't look last week.
Because we know you didn't look last week.
If you want to get into the ground, and it would really help us continue this and produce this content. And we would really just love the support. And we really like hearing from you guys. So anything else that you want to send us, any emails, or again, there's 30-minute butt routines for Zach. We would really appreciate that. We love getting feedback, and it really helps us, and it helps you get better content from us. Patreon, our tiers start at $2 a month, which is basically nothing. If you want to help support us again, just go there. Helps keep the content rolling and the beer flowing.
It was a great episode. Again, great episode.
It was great. I liked it. I liked it a lot. We got some stuff to take care of.
We do.
That's it. Peace out.